Hey guys, it's Robbie Fergusson, and this is the final whistle.
And welcome to Rugby Connection presents the final whistle. Now, this week's guest, he's an absolute stalwart on the Seventh Circuit for Scotland. He's an Olympian. He's been on Team GB. It's none other than Robbie Fergusson. Robbie, thank you so much for coming on. How are you getting on?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for that intro. Yeah, it's nice to come on, have a little bit of a chat and see what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you have been a very busy man. You've just came back your holidays, which I'm a bit jealous of. But yeah.
Yeah, well, no, it's been good. Just busy season between kind of shuttling between Glasgow and a little bit of Sevens. So managed to get a week off there. So before we went to Commonwealth Games prep. So yeah, it was good to get away, get out of rugby for a little while, refresh, and spend a bit of time with the family.
That's nice. And obviously, family is definitely the most important thing. Nice little question that we asked all our guests just to get the ball rolling. What actually got you into rugby in the first place, Robbie?
I just literally a mate's dad, pretty much. My mate's dad was a coach of the team and my mate played, and I had no interest in rugby really. I was dabbling in a bit of football and this, that, and the next thing. Sleep over at my mate's house on a Saturday. He was getting up at 10 o'clock, going to rugby, and he's like, yeah, you're coming. He always kind of knew I was quite fast, knew I was quite like kind of into football type things. I'll just come and try it. Went for the first time, absolutely hated it. But then just kind of went back 2 or 3 more times and kind of got the bug after that. So it was just really through a friend and probably peer pressure more than anything else, I think.
That's actually strange. Usually it's mostly my mates played and because my mates played I wanted to play, but no, peer pressure, that's a first on this show.
Yeah.
But I mean it's worked out well for you. You've toured the world, you've been at the Olympics, you've been at the Commonwealth Games. How do those experiences live up? Because obviously I've never done it, so I can only dream of what these experiences are actually like.
It's weird because anytime you go to like any one of these events, like my first tournament in Dubai, the Commonwealth Games, the Sevens World Cup, the Olympics even, it's a bit of a strange one because you're so caught up in that moment of what you're doing and it's just rugby. It's probably not till after the event or you come on something like this or you chat about it that you actually think back, oh, that's actually really, really cool. Like, you can get kind of stuck in just being involved in rugby and not really taking in the wider picture. So it's quite nice sometimes just to stop, look back and kind of be like, wow, that was quite a special thing. And you don't realise it while you're playing, I don't think. It's maybe something you'll realise more once you finish. But some of the achievements you have, you're always just like, right, that was amazing, but like on to the next one. It's you need to take time sometimes to savor things. So it was nice, especially at the back of the Olympics, we had a bit of time off to sort of savor that one. That was really special for me and for my family. They put a lot of sacrifice into that with time away, with COVID protocols, with everything else, that sort of stuff. And it wasn't the Olympics that it probably could have been or should have been without fans and things like that. But still, to be in the village and part of that sort of atmosphere was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was just going to mention because we have been very lucky to have some of the Olympians on in the past, and they've explained that you weren't allowed to really do the normal Olympics essentially. You couldn't go and watch other events, and was it not as soon as you were finished, your way home?
Yeah, we were kicked out 24 hours after we finished, so it's kind of, you probably did miss that sort of feel of being able to go and watch. Like the skateboarding was just outside the village. We could like see like with the park, but we couldn't go there. The swimming, the cyclists, and you're watching it all on TV pretty much as a fan, where you could like it was literally a stone's throw away all of it. So it was a little strange, and you were kind of segregated almost to like stay in your teams, which I think is against sort of the ethos of that Team GB thing. Like it was all about sort of one team. But like with the COVID risks and the COVID protocols that we had in place, it was kind of like stick to your own bubbles, mix with your own bubble and kind of stick like that. And even like Tokyo, I think, well, I've heard is an amazing city and I've been there for 2.5, 3 weeks and I've only seen a hotel room, which we were literally locked in until we got out for training. So we got a bus straight to the training pitch. That was the first 10 days. And then we moved into the village and the village was slightly better. You could move around the village with other athletes, but again, you're fenced in, caged in. You weren't allowed to step foot into Tokyo just in case. So It was different, but still an Olympic Games and special for so many reasons. But you'd have loved to have family there. You'd have loved to have crowds in the stadium. You'd have loved to, again, go and support other athletes. But the fact that it happened and I was part of it's still a massive thing, I think.
Yeah, of course. Olympics once in a lifetime. And then you get the show-offs that can do it 2, 3 Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, we have got the Commonwealth Games coming up this month, so I'm guessing that's high on your agenda right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's was something I really wanted to do. I was obviously in 15s this year, and then got released to play the last 2 sevens tournaments in Toulouse and London, just to get a bit of exposure around that again, with a view to wanting to push for a place in the Commonwealth Games team. So we are now sitting back in on Monday with a 5-week build up into the Commonwealth Games, pretty much. I think the squad's named maybe in 4 weeks or so. So yeah, that's going to be a massive thing as well. Birmingham, it'd be nice to have at one of these major events my family all down. Gold Coast obviously was a bit too far last time. The Olympics obviously no supporters. The Sevens World Cup was in San Fran, so a little bit further afield again as well. So to have it at Birmingham, which is semi-close to home now, and to hopefully get a lot of family down if I was selected would be great.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed, and a little personal fingers crossed for me as well. I'd like to be in attendance for the Commonwealth Games, just because, like you said, it's close enough, so it's not a big task, and it just means you get stuck. And you get stuck at Birmingham anyway when you go travelling, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's what people say. They're like, oh, Birmingham, blah, blah, blah. It's like you've got a short straw with that one, but actually there's positives to the whole thing as well. Like, it's good to be competing close to home. It's good for the preparation stuff, and it's good for so many reasons as well. Yeah,
100%. I mean, even when like the World Cup was done in England a few years ago, and Scotland were playing games in Newcastle, it was almost like our home stadium because it's not that far to travel. Because you mentioned London, we've actually got a fan question. It's very specific, so you might have to jog your memory a little bit. Mm-hmm. Who was the best fan at London Sevens? And in brackets, they've wrote there was the drunk guy with the Scottish flag. Don't know if that narrows that down for you at all, but
I'm pretty sure there's a couple of boys that were involved sort of in the Sevens and came down to watch to play for the Ayrshire Bulls. We kind of know them as well. Bobby Beattie and a boy Harry War. I think they had 2 very good days, and by the Sunday in the last game they were in the crowd at the warm-up. They'd somehow got a whistle. There was a whistle going, a Scotland flag going, they were singing, so yeah, they were good value, those pair.
That's fair. The fans at Sevens are just built different though, aren't they? Like the dress, I don't know how you get the people that dress in the scorching sun with a full-on like suit and they're not sweating. I don't know how you do that.
I think they're all sweating. It's quite funny actually, because usually we've got 3 games along a day, so you've usually got a fairly early morning, like say 10, 11 o'clock kickoff, and I always joke, you go with my family are there 10, 11 o'clock, you'll get sense out of them, and they're like chatting rugby, they're enjoying the day. You then have like the 1, 2 o'clock game where you go and you're like, right, okay, you guys are getting a bit tipsy, there'll be a bit sort of that, you'll see a few of them starting to get sunburned. And then by the evening game, it's not even worth going out to see them. They're all absolutely written off and they're in the sun, they're heat stroke and all the rest of it. But when they buy into it and some of the atmospheres like Dubai, Hong Kong, like some of the things you can see there over the course of a weekend is pretty special.
I think World Rugby still put pictures of the guy with the avocado. They
Yeah,
use his belly as the pet, legend.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that South Africa or Australia? He made his debut. That was huge. World Rugby love it as well. Like it's part of the Sevens ethos, that sort of party atmosphere as well. So they kind of buy into that, and everyone kind of goes for it. So it's good fun, especially when all the people buy in. It's good warm weather. They all love it. Oh
yeah, I'll happily watch the Sevens. Don't let me play it.
Yeah,
please don't. I'll stand. I'll shout. I'll get drunk and forget the third game, as you said. Yeah. If you were watching the Sevens, what would you dress up as?
If I was watching the Sevens, I guess they're usually themed to an extent, aren't they? You've had superhero ones. There's been beach party. There is usually some sort of a theme. But yeah, I've seen people in full morph suits in the heat and been like, absolutely not, that's not the way to go. But there's been people done Baywatch. I think I'd probably go down the superhero line. You can get away with just a little pair of budgie smugglers and a cape, nice weather, and you'll be absolutely fine. Get a tan.
Yeah, makes it. You get an awkward tan across the neck
Yeah.
and down the back though with a cape like, but
I think it's going to be sunstroke and sunburn everywhere anyway, so it won't make a difference by the end of it.
yeah, that's fair. We've got another fan question. It's from Jack_Craig05. He asks, who's the favourite brother or sister? I feel like that's very specific to you.
Yeah, that's my little brother. He's
Nice.
he's something else. Yeah, that's my little brother. He's just 15, 16, just starting out playing rugby as well. So he loves a little bit of exposure to get. So he'll be enjoying the shout out there as well.
See pop like that. Fair play, I would do the same.
Yeah.
You did play for Glasgow Warriors this season. How did that whole signing come about? Because I thought you were just purely sevens, and then Glasgow announced that they signed you, and then yeah.
Well, it came about. Obviously, COVID happened, and sevens was an absolute no-go. And I had another year left on my sevens contract. So basically, the SRU were like, we'd be interested in bringing you into Glasgow for the rest of this sort of year. There's been a few injuries, we'd be interested in getting you in. So last season, I think through COVID, I ended up playing about 10, 11 games for Glasgow under my sevens contract, and then had to leave when I was selected for the GB stuff to start. So at that time I left, I was starting quite regularly at Glasgow. And still there was no certainty whether sevens would come back, wouldn't come back. So basically in must have been the June, July probably time, I still didn't have a contract sorted out the back of the Olympic stuff. And Scotland sevens didn't have a budget, it didn't have approval to go yet because World Rugby didn't know what a series would look like. So basically Glasgow came to me with an offer and were like, we'd be keen to have you in 15s for the season. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in that. So the way it sort of played out was Great Britain stayed on the series till Christmas, and Glasgow turned and they're like, listen, we've got enough players at the moment, we'll need you after Christmas. So basically I was seconded to Great Britain again on my Glasgow contract, and then post-Christmas aligned with Glasgow to basically the end of June. And that's sort of how it came about. So mostly just because of COVID, really got a little bit of an opportunity to play. And then because of the uncertainty in sevens and the likes of having a family and stuff, I just had to take a contract that was kind of offered to me rather than wait for sevens. And out the back of the Olympics, I kind of felt that it'd be good to try and go back to 15s and just have a crack like wholeheartedly in it and see what that was for me. So yeah, it's been interesting, been a different year, but I have enjoyed it, so it's been good as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. And like you said, family comes first, and family is the most important thing. Yeah. I can proper vouch for that. Got another fan question. It's kind of linked to what you just said. It was asked, was sevens always what you wanted to do, or was it more of a plan B? It's a bit of a brutal question, the way they've worded that, but yeah.
No, that's pretty bang on, to be honest. I was at London Scottish playing in the championship, and John DL was down with a partnership with the SRU, and John got the Scotland Sevens head coach job, and he sort of spoke to me, and I had a really good season in the championship that year, and he went, listen, you're too good to be playing down here, we need to get you back in the system at Scotland. He's like, I'm taking this role with the sevens, I'd love to bring you up, give you a crack, a year at sevens. And he's like, we'll get you back into 15s and we'll get you involved in the pro teams. And I was like, right, bang on, that's perfect. Like sevens wasn't particularly on my horizon at that stage. But I was like, I can do a year of sevens, that'll be good fun. And get myself back into Glasgow and just get myself back in the door with the SRU. And then 4 or 5 years later, I've sort of stayed in that environment now. And it's a stranger. I just sort of fell in love with sevens, the game, really enjoyed playing it, and kind of found a little niche for myself within the sort of sevens game. And yeah, I've definitely now probably turned myself into a full-on sevens player that can do a bit of 15s rather than probably a 15s player playing sevens. So it probably was a plan B, but I think I find myself far happier now playing sevens than I ever would playing 15s, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then I've always associated you with sevens, so that's when the whole Glasgow announcement came off. I was like, right, okay. Plus, I'm an Edinburgh fan, so you picked the wrong side.
Yeah. It's no, it is. It's interesting. The 15s game and sevens game. I think even from when I started, 5-6 years ago till now have just changed so much. And I think sevens is growing its own identity as a separate sport now. And the skill sets are kind of getting different for both games. But I mean, your basics are still the same. Like, I think it's a great tool to develop boys for 15s. But I think your top end sevens team now are playing a different game than sevens 5-6 years ago.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you're one of the faces of Scotland sevens, and sevens is, like you just said, it's a whole different sport. They have their own like star players, their own. And I used to make the mistake where like for example, like the All Blacks are great at rugby, they must be great at sevens. But it's Fiji that or South Africa that dominates the sevens. And I'm like, strange. I always just really assumed, I was very naive before I started watching it. Is it difficult to transition from sevens to 15s and then back again?
I think each individual will be different within it. Like, people who genuinely are fast will come to sevens and think, I'm just gonna run round boys and play sevens, and then I think they get a shock when they come to the series, because you can be fast in 15, but everyone at sevens is that different level of speed. So it's getting harder, I think, to transition between the two, but still possible in certain positions. Like, your wingers can learn a lot from playing sevens and transition that into 15s. Centres, same thing. Back rows as well. I think it's got purpose for them as well, with the sort of restart elements, the aerial skills involved as well. So there's definitely areas that cross over a lot with 15s, but I think it depends on what kind of 15s player you are, if you'll be able to transition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I like that, and I like how you said it depends on the player themselves. So we could ask, I don't know, might get a different 7 players down the line. I could ask them, and they just can't adapt to 15s. Yeah. Where you do like a duck to water.
Well, I don't know about that. Like, it's a strange game as well. 15s boys are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like it's hard to go from being 100 kg in the 15s game and then having to run about 100 kg in sevens pitch. Doesn't work. Like, you get caught out fairly quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I do want to talk about that try that you got in the Toulouse sevens, because that was absolutely unreal. And little brag for me, it's got 15,000 views on my TikTok account. So thank you for that.
Oh, excellent! That's good. Yeah, I've done it a couple of times now. I did it against England at Twickenham, a few other sort of times. It's just one of those ones that, when boys are obviously within a game of sevens, everyone ends up blowing, and it can be such a momentum thing. If you score, obviously in sevens, you kick off again. Yeah. So the way we do it is we have someone hitting the conversion and someone's back in the halfway line with the ball waiting to hit the restart. And it's one of those ones that you catch eyes with the kicker sometimes when he's running back up the middle. And if he sees a big gap there, you're just kind of waving him to come, because you know that space is there. And if you catch the opposition napping sevens, then it can be easy scores. And I've been lucky to get a couple of them. But yeah, that one I thought I'd underhit massively. This isn't going to make the 10. This isn't going to make the 10. But it managed to just sneak over and pop up to me. So no, it was a good moment, especially against South Africa in a fairly tight game. It was nice for it to come off.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact just before you kick the ball, you like lifted the ball up so the players can't see what you're going to do. You're obviously telling the boys, right, I'm going to do this, and then the ref goes, right, go, bang. And I had to rewind it and slow it down so many times. I'm like, that's taking the piss. I've been so annoyed with that one against me.
Yeah, I know. It's quite bad. Because I've done it a few times. We're actually playing, we played New Zealand in the ninth final after that game. And I've done it to New Zealand before. And the New Zealand coach came up to me because we were playing them next. He's like, thank God you did that against them. I'd completely forgotten about it. If you'd done that against us, I'd have been absolutely fuming. But yeah, sometimes you get away with these things. Sometimes you don't. It's one of those make or break things, I think.
Yeah, I mean, proper blink and you miss it though, and that's the best part about it. What are your aims for, we'll say next season, we'll not include the Commonwealth, I'm still counting that as this season. So what's your aims for next season, Robbie?
It's interesting. So I think I'm going to go back, well, essentially I think I'll go back down the sevens route, because now we're only 2 years away from Paris 2024, which is probably a massive sort of, never really actually even said, but it's probably another massive goal for me as well. The Tokyo Olympics was great, and I was like loved being part of it. but like it was kind of limited game time throughout that, and then it's kind of that burning itch, like coming fourth in Olympic Games is like, everyone says it's the worst place to come. Do you know what I mean? Like fourth, you're so close yet so far. So I've got a real drive. I'm desperate for, not desperate, but yeah, I would love to go and have another crack at Olympics in 2024. So next season hopefully looks like qualifying a Great Britain team somehow to the France 2024 Olympics, and then sort of building into that. So get myself back into sevens, as good a shape as possible, competing well for Scotland and doing well with them. Like, it's a really new team we've got this year, and hopefully we add some experience into that, and we grow as a group, and we can go well and do well in the World Series. And we always speak about winning medals for Scotland on that World Series, which I think we have the potential to do. When you look at results from tournaments, it's just those fine little margins. But yeah, I think the bigger goal is Paris 2024, I think. So that sort of starts next year with the Olympic qualification stuff.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, and never say never, really. Just for fun, well, actually, because you've been in sevens and 15s, you get an extra bonus question for that one. Who is your dream sevens team, past and present, with yourself included? From any team, it doesn't just have to be Scotland.
We're going around the world. I think for games played, time played with them, I'm going to stick with Farnzo at 1 for like my prop / winger. 2, hooker. I keep thinking the Scottish boys. I'm thinking Scotty Riddell, but I think Steve Thomason, the USA hooker, he's unbelievable work rate, unbelievable engine. Got a lot of respect for him as a player. And then 3, I like the kind of bigger forward element to that. So I'd look at either, there's loads of Fijians, but I think I'd probably go Sam Dixon, big New Zealand boy. Again, I think size and your restart and the breakdown stuff they do is pretty good. I don't know if I'd include myself, but I'll stick myself in the mix there. And I think I'll probably throw in best there. It's hard. The South African halfbacks have got a lot of time for all of them. Like, different breed again, purely made for sevens. I think that Selvin Davies is pretty special as a player at the minute, the current player. But then you still look at guys like Cecil Africa is kind of one of the best to do it. So you're looking at kind of those two around the halfbacks, and then it's hard to narrow it down again. I think George Horne's pretty unbelievable when he puts a sevens jersey on as well. So he's one of those players that I think in 15s can step up and play some unbelievable sevens. He's part of those big wins Scotland had years ago when he's a young player. I did the last Commonwealth Games with him again. He's something pretty special. So where we're at now, centres. Joe Webber, Kiwi boy. Again, been around the block, knows his stuff, good player. And then on the wing, there's a load of speedsters out there. I think I'm probably going to go with Perry Baker. I think as the USA boys, Perry and Carlin, are both unreal, but I think Perry kind of edges it a little bit from Carlin just on rugby brain a little. So somewhere around that, I reckon.
That's a solid team. And just to keep you thinking that a little bit more, who's your dream centre partner for the 15s? And again, you could pick one for past and one for present.
Who's the best? Oh, that's a tough one, actually. I'm going to go with my mate, Paddy Kelly as well. I get on, he's now in the sevens with me as well, but we played together in London for a good year, and it was honestly probably one of the most fun years I've had playing rugby in there as well. Guys in amongst that as well, I've always really enjoyed playing with Pete Horne as well. Anytime you play outside him, he sort of organises everything and you end up in space because of the work he does. Yeah. So it's kind of unseen all the time, but I enjoy playing outside Pete as well.
No, that's fair. I've always admired Pete Horne's work rate.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I'm a Howard Fife boy. It's not biased, I promise. No, I remember, I think it was a 2019 World Cup once where you get to meet all the boys and sign this and sign that. And all the team was playing, and Pete standing on his own doing this really weird, excessive knee bend. And me just being me why are you not down there? I buggered my knee and I'm getting ruled out for the World Cup. but I'll show them that I'll be ready in 2 weeks. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, just take the time off.
He's a great bloke, and I think he's obviously just been appointed at Glasgow now as a skills coach in there, and he's gone down that coaching route. I think he'll be great. Given time to do his thing, like his details bang on, his work rate around the coaching side of things, the same as it was as a player. Like so much detail, and yeah, he's a great lad as well off the pitch. So he's a good bloke. He's a good bloke.
I've never actually like properly met Pete, but I've never heard a bad thing about him. We have actually poached another one from that group. We've got Chris Pizarro helping us out this season. So
oh yeah, they're good mates. Fuzzy and Pete are best friends, really, aren't they?
yeah,
He's a good bloke as well. Fuzzy, he'll be doing a lot of defence if he's involved, but a lot of tackle, a lot of smash. But he's a good lad.
Yeah, nice defensive rugby. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it should be fun, and it should definitely, hopefully, help my game as well. We've got now just a bit of fun. Nothing to really do with rugby for the most part. This is getting to know Robbie Fergusson. So, What is your favourite venue?
Favourite venue, Cape Town Stadium, I think. Oh, yeah, Cape Town. I'll go Cape Town Stadium. When it's full.
You doubt yourself there a minute?
Well, Hong Kong's pretty special as well, but I think Cape Town, just the experience we've had there, when it's full, that bowl's full, it's a different level. Fireworks going off, it's mental.
That's fair. That's fair. Strength and conditioning or cardio?
Strength and conditioning.
Yes, finally we're starting to sway it back. Meant to guess that. Oh yeah, I'll just run about. No, go to the gym.
No. I can do enough running about in games. I can't be bothered with cardio. Like once I'm doing rugby, I don't mind running about, playing rugby and doing that. That's my cardio. I ain't going to run or doing things like that. I'd much rather just do it through games all the time.
Yeah, game based is fine, but if you give me the gym or you're doing Broncos, no.
No. I think everyone's like that. No one's taking a Bronco.
You'd be surprised. I know a few that, let's do Broncos. No.
No, not for me.
Favourite style of food?
Favourite style of food? I'm going to go with Chinese, but I've been into Thai recently as well. So it's one of those ones. But I think over the span, I'm going to go Chinese.
Fair enough. What's your go-to Chinese takeaway meal then?
There's loads. Crispy shred. I can't really buy the crispy shredded chicken option. It's always a good one. Sweet and sour chicken. Noodles, fried rice, prawn crackers. I can get the works really. Salt and chili, anything really I'm into as well. Salt and chili, you can't lose with that. Anything salt and chili is good.
100%. Weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Weirdest thing I've ever eaten. See, I'm quite a boring eater. Even to the extent of I only eat plain crisps, which is probably weirder than anything I've ever eaten. I get a lot of heat from the boys of like there'll be crisps out and I'll be like, oh, what flavour are them? Like, what does it matter? I'm not eating them unless they're plain. So probably that's the weirdest thing I've got associated with food is I hate any sort of flavour of crisps. So like it and different things, but don't put it on a crisp. That's not for me.
Oh, that's fair. And again, we get a nice different answer.
Yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Hate cats.
Yes. Finally,
hate cats.
Everyone said dogs, but I've never heard somebody like agrees that they hate cats.
No, my wife's mum and dad have four cats. I don't know if it's me or it's them. I go around there and things scratch the life out of me. They like always rubbing on your leg, like just walking across you, rubbing on your leg, tripping them up. Like, they do my absolute head in. Dogs all day.
Dogs easy. Dogs will go and lie down.
Yeah, exactly. They'll hug you on the sofa. They'll come for a cuddle. They'll go for walks. Just cats and that.
Dogs for the win. Netflix or Prime?
Oh, again, probably watch more Netflix, but the quality of Prime's better. So I'll stick Netflix. I'll stick with Netflix.
What's your must watch for now? What's the
At the minute, actually not watching much now. I'm trying to think what I have watched. I'm a big fan of like the Prime best ones are like the all or nothing things. I'm into them, like the Man City one, all that sort of stuff. I like the behind the scenes stuff and that, even like the Hard Knocks stuff you get on the Prime. So that sort of stuff on Prime, and then Netflix. I've binge watched so much stuff on that. You've got The Drive to Survive. Just finished all of them again. They're well worth a watch. Like Prison Break, I think I've watched that 3 or 4 times now. That's probably my go-to series as well. So things like that, I'd say.
I've never watched Prison Break, by the way.
Oh, that's a must for you.
I'll get rid. It's in my list.
I think there must be 8 seasons. There's only so many times you can break out of jail, but yeah, it's good. First season's the best. Even just do the first season, I'm telling you, you'll be in it after that.
Fair enough. My go-to that I've watched 3 or 4 times is Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I've watched that as well. That's good.
Cry
Yeah.
every time at the end, though. But...
Yeah, I know. You know what's coming. It still gets you.
What's your favourite film?
Favorite film? Again, maybe A Stranger on the Blind Side. You seen it? Kind of true story about the American football player.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I don't know why that's my favourite film. I think I've actually answered that before. I watched it on the plane coming back here again. It must have been the 3rd or 4th time I watched it, so it just came into my head when you said film. So yeah, good film. I like it. Nice
comfort film. Favourite song?
Favourite song? I'm going to go with Marching Bands by Vance, the remix version, because that's the song we listen to before we go out a lot of the time playing sevens, so you can be burst, and then you put this song on game 5, game 6, boys just start buzzing off it. So Vance remix of Marching Bands, so I'm going to go with that.
Well, that's fair enough. Favourite post-match drink?
Favourite post-match drink? I'm going to say I can't go straight to having pints or anything like that, so I need like a bit of a sugar hit, so an iron brew or something like that. Just get a sugar hit in me first, and that gets me going. Or sometimes if we finish a big training session, a big week on a Friday, someone will bring in a crate of iron brews, nice cold iron brew after a tough day thing. It's always a winner.
Yeah. What when you had the socials in, what's your go-to drink?
It tends to just be pints, but then I always end up in rum and coke. But if I end up in rum and coke, the memory's foggy the next day to say it's not great. It's not great. I think because we go through spells as rugby, but maybe I just go through spells as rugby players. You'd be like, now, for example, I've been on holiday, kind of had a chill out, happily drink away a few beers every night or whatever. And then I'll come now and then I won't touch a drop until after the Commonwealth Games or whenever that next sort of break is. So I'll probably go 6-7 weeks of nothing. So then once you have 6-7 weeks of nothing, you play a full sevens tournament or whatever happens, you're dehydrated. I have like 2 beers, I'm absolutely steaming, cheap date. But yeah, that'd be the pints, or then the rum and coke.
What's your pints? What's your go-to pints?
Anything really. In America there I was liking the Coors Light, which is a bit of a new one for me, but so I was on them, but it tends to be just Corona. Any which way, but it's good.
As a solid beer, just you get the boring joke now because of the virus. I hate it. Working in a bar, it's can I get a Corona? Hold the virus. Get out.
Yeah, it's been overkill, hasn't it? It's been overkill.
When you get like one person will come in and say it and think they're smart, and you get with 6 or 7 straight after that, I'm like, boy.
Yeah, bore off now.
Do you have any tattoos? I
do not. No. Tattoo list. Debated getting the rings, and I might do it at some stage. But I've never booked it or never done anything with it yet. So no tattoos at the moment.
Fair enough. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
Good.
No.
Yes.
No. I don't even know how it goes. Like I even disagree with just ham and pineapple like as a thing. I don't like it. It's too much sweet with it. It just doesn't work for me.
Exactly, because you have like ham on a sandwich, but you wouldn't put pineapple on a sandwich, and that's my logic.
I know. No, that's where I'm at with it. I just think I've tried it, too sweet. Like then it's like obviously you got the juice of the fruit. No, doesn't work. Doesn't work for me.
I'll give you one that's like scarred me for life. Did you know down in the Southern Hemisphere they put pineapple on burgers?
No. The other thing they do in New Zealand, have you ever had pineapple lumps? No. So I'm not a fan of pineapple the best of times, but in New Zealand they do these thing called pineapple lumps. It's like a pineapple coated in chocolate, and don't know what else to do with it, but these things are They're good. Ever end up down Southampton to look at some pineapple lumps? Phenomenal.
Fair enough. I'm not a big pineapple fan. Says
No, me neither.
juice,
But they chocolate over the top, and you're onto a winner.
it's weird because I like strawberries and I like chocolate, but don't give me chocolate strawberries.
See, now I can get on board with that. I can get on board with chocolate strawberries.
Fair, fair enough. Last question. This one might get you in a bit of trouble, but it's nothing major.
Oh god.
Team Scotland or Team GB?
Wow. Yeah, that could get me in a lot of trouble. Team Scotland at the moment. We had this. So we were lucky enough to make the final in Edmonton with GB, obviously. And we've always had this discussion of like, I was obviously the captain of the GB team at this stage. I we had the Welsh boys, Scottish boys, English boys. Obviously, it's God Save the Queen. But the majority of our team were Scottish and Welsh. I think there's only 3 English people in it. So like, why are we singing God Save the Queen? Obviously, Great Britain's anthem. So then it came down to who's going to sing God Save the Queen. And I was like, oh, geez, here we go. This is going to be awkward. But the Welsh boys, the Welsh boys, the Scottish boys stood there, didn't say a word. But I was on camera singing God Save the Queen as well. But allegiance is still lie with Scotland at the moment. That's where the heart is.
I'll need a rendition of Flower Scotland then just to prove it. Right?
Oh, no.
I'm not putting you on the spot now. You don't have to sing.
Got compared to a baby elephant in the school. I think was one of the music teachers called me a baby elephant. I was trying to sing, got the worst voice going, absolutely horrendous.
That's fair, and there's something I didn't know either. So
yeah, exactly.
Happy days. But you've absolutely. There was a smart arse question, and I didn't want to ask it, but you could finish it on and give it to them if you want. The question was, who are you?
Who is it? Yeah, I'm just out here having fun, doing whatever I do. Like, can't really let anyone, like, social media it could be such a platform for good and is in so many ways. But like, it's relentless. Some of the things you see, and it's always these random eggs on Twitter, on whatever, commenting, same people, and everyone would rather comment on the things that are going wrong than if something goes well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. It's easy for people sitting behind the screen to say things like, happy to have anyone along to Ravenscraig, Scotstoun, come do a session, come have a bit of fun and see how you get on.
Yeah, I'm always like that. Say it to my face. If you know who I am, say it to my face.
Exactly.
We'll end it on a high. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. It's been an absolute blast.
No, not a problem. It's been nice to speak to you as well.
Yeah, this has been the Final Whistle with Robbie Fergusson. See you next time.